Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to 6,000 Games Better Than These. This is a series where I'm going through Board Game Geek, taking a look at games that are ranked 6,000 or lower, and I'm telling you what I think about them, or if I think about, whatever ones I think about, and just taking a look at them, because these are kind of mediocre games. Some of them are going up, some of them are going down, some you may not have ever heard of. As I say, each time I do this and in a different time frame, the ratings at Board Game Geek are always in flux, so it's possible you'll see games that I've already talked about because they might have moved up or down, whatever might happen there. But let's get into today. Today we're starting at 6,801, Omerta, and Penny Papers Adventures, which I talked about last time. Here we got Town Center. So Town Center, which has been remade many times, in fact, we can see here, the Town Center 4th edition came out in 2014. That's kind of crazy to me. This is from Albin Viard, and he's done a whole bunch of games. Clinic, you might recognize him from, and Small City, and things like that. Town Center is a game that you're building the town center and putting blocks on it. I thought it was okay. Coralia. This is a game that really, when I first saw it, I thought was absolutely gorgeous. When you look at this, you see the dice here. You're kind of pulling these dice, and the side of the dice and the color of the dice matter. A nice, good game. R&R brought it. Mealborn, there's the grass game. Has a lot of ratings. That's about marijuana. Samurai, the card game, which I did not play that version of it. This one cracks me up. Miscellaneous game accessories. So this is ranked 6,808. Technically, it should be ranked number 1 because this is where you would get, look at this, I give it a 10 because this is where you would find Dice Tower or Spinner. I mean, if it's an accessory for a game, this is where it goes. From bags to coins to brushes to dice towers, and you're going to find a lot of dice towers in this category, to extra wooden pieces, to plastic containers. There's all sorts of things that you will see here. It's kind of funny that this is even ranked as a game, either have it in or not. Anywho, The Secret of Monte Chisto. I never played this one. I always wanted to, especially with these marble ramps, but I never got around to it. What else do we got here? This is Tribune, but not the new Tribune. Warhammer 40,000, Battle for McCrag. So this is a great way to get started with Warhammer 40K. This may be was this the first box of it that I ever got? 2004. No. Was I playing Warhammer in 2004? I may have just given it up around that time frame. But if you like miniature games, it's one of the most popular, probably the most popular out there. Here's Deadly Dowagers. Marry, bury, inherit, repeat. Anyway, this is the Junior Settlers of Katan. So a very simple version of Katan with a single die as opposed to 2 dice. An easy way to play. I think it works well for kids. What else we got on this list? Jungle Smart, also known as Crazy Circus. So I remember this one. This has a bunch of animals stacked on top of each other. Malo so ki ni. And you are saying these things like ki so mi mama. You are saying these to get somebody to stack the animals correctly as a kid. So you're just saying, so it's a kid's game, and you're giving them commands in these funny, syllables so that they can move the animals around. Terra Prime. It's been a while since I played this one. This one here from designed by Seth Jaffe and art Josh Capel. I remember when this came out just because I remember the art on the different pieces really appealed to me. And I don't know if this would get a 7 from me today. It's a while since I played this. 2009 is when it came out. But you're moving around, exploring space, and making things. But it has just a bright, cheerful look to it, which I like. Pingo Pingo. Pingo Pingo is a game I never play. I played briefly. You're shooting rubber bands at penguins. Black Sheep. Completo. That's an interesting looking game. Dead Panic. So Dead Panic is from the folks who made Castle Panic. And this is kind of the same thing except with zombies. And you got to kind of defend against the zombies, and the van shows up, and then you get to the van and you run off. It's not as clean as the other ones, but this came out when zombies were king. And so a lot of people wanted to play this, and I think it did well for a time, but it's not as good, I think, as just the original Castle Panic. Dream Runners. Discover the lands hidden inside your mind and solve the puzzle of your dreams. This one took a while for me to remember what this one is. You're building these tiles in front of you, which will give you actions. The dream part of this is almost essentially just a pasted on theme, but you're trying to reach different goals by putting these little polyomino tiles on into your spread and getting actions. I thought it was a neat little game. What else here? There's a lot of games here I haven't played. This is Viva Pamplona. This is the Running of the Bulls game. I've seen this one played a lot in my gaming group. There's a guy who likes older games and brought this, and I always thought this Running with the Bulls game seemed kind of interesting. It's an old classic style game. This is one of those older games. If I had a chance to play it, I probably would. Splitter. So Splitter is a thing where you're going to take these dice and you're going to be writing one on one side and one on the other side. It's a very simple roll and write, but you're just trying to get groups of numbers next to each other that are of that number. I want 5 5s, 4 4s, etc. Holiday Flux has made it onto this list. Germantown, Dark Dealings, and Nut. So, very different games. Dark Dealings here. Man, it's been a while since I played this one. 2016. And your competition to see who can withstand the siege. Wow, this is kind of crazy that I don't remember anything about this game. Like, I'm looking at it. This is one of those games that has completely gone out of my brain. Nut. This one Z and I just reviewed. It's part of the new line of little pack of games from Chris Handy. And it's 2 to 3 player. I think it works better with 2, where you're just building trees in front of you. A nice little back and forth game. I think I gave it a 6.5. Maybe a 7 would be fine. It's nice. Alrighty, continuing on. Alismatic Heroes? What a weird name. Let me see what that is. Alice is rebuilding Wonderland. Let's look at the pictures. Okay. Okay. So, Warlords of Europe and On the Dot. Again, very different games. Warlords of Europe. It's been a while since I played this one. This is it's like Risk style game. You can see that. And I think, unfortunately, that's a hard row to hoe to say, hey, this is from Conquest Gaming. This is an interesting idea. It worked fine. But again, I'm playing this over Risk or Risk Europe or what have you. And does it do very well? Did Conquest Gaming make anything else? No, this seemed to be, well, they made Warehouse 13 the board game. But other than that, and Warlords, I haven't seen much from them. On the Dot. So this game here has clear cards with dots on them, and you are putting them on top of each other and rotating them to get a card here. So this card will show you these dots, and so you're taking your dots and rotating them. That's the game. It's kind of like one of those puzzle games from Think Fun. I apparently did not like it very much. I remember playing it. Hooray! Moving down, An Attrition of Souls. That's a good name. It's a World War I board game. Well, that makes the name sadder there. This one's just called Gold, Thieves' Den, Hadlandi, Haunt the House, and The Stifling Dark. Both about haunted things. Haunt the House is from Kids Table board game, and I believe this was the game that put them a little bit on the map for me, where you have these ghosts, and it's kind of more of a he ghost things. It's from Kids Table board game, and you're scaring ghost hunters out of different rooms in the house. Works well. The Stifling Dark is a game that makes me so sad because I really wanted to love this game. This is a horror game where one person is the bad guy and everyone else is people in an amusement park or a lumber mill. And the good people have flashlights. So let me find you can see them here on the board. We'll zoom in closer to this. So you can see here that the flashlight is a template that is like on the board, and so you can see that spot, and it helps reveal who the bad guys are. I really like this concept. Unfortunately, the components beat up on this game a lot. There's so many decks of cards, so many different rules for each thing of the game. A streamlined version of Stifling Dark would be crazy amazing. As it is, it's just missing it because of rules and components. All the components look the same. Alrighty, of Dreams and Shadows. Unreliable Wizard. I remember when that came out. I never did. Did I not play Unreliable Wizard? I thought I did. Nope. Somebody reviewed it. Who reviewed it from the Dice Tower? I cast a spell on you. Who do you think it was?
Two, so one there. All right. So one.
All right. That's why I've not played it. Alrighty. Fishing Lessons and Bellum Magicka. Bellum Magicka, you're going to be an evil lord. This is a game where you're moving around a board, I believe. No. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in this game. Collecting things with the cards. It's been a while since I played Bellum Magicka. When was this? 2021. Well, not that long ago. Well, there's another one that's kind of going out of my head. My head is forgetting a lot of things today. Global Mogul. I remember this game. So Global Mogul is a game from Mayfair Games, which does not look good, unfortunately. But it is a very involved economics game. So I know that people who like these heavy economic games are like, yeah, cubes, cards, and moving stuff around. I would probably have given it a higher rating other than that. I thought there was a lot going on in this, controlling different markets in the world. It's very good. It just doesn't look great, but I enjoy it. Tumbling Dice Jr. This is the smaller board version of Tumbling Dice. My opinion is if you can get any version of Tumbling Dice, do so. Santa Fe, Blossoms, and Block Ness. So Blossoms is a very underrated two-player game. We actually have it in the Dice Tower library. I think it's gorgeous. You are going back and forth, planting these different flowers in front of you. I love the art. I love how the game looks. I think it's a pleasant back and forth two-player game, again, competing with the other person to get better flowers. Great game. Block Ness is a very abstract game where you are placing these different pieces on this pegboard here to... You're just trying to fit them in, essentially, but following the formation of your Loch Ness monster, where you have a head and a tail and everything else in between. I find it to be very fun and enjoyable, kind of a cool theme. Then we have Logistico. Boy, I hate Logistico, but to be fair, I will say my co-host on the Dice Tower podcast, Eric Summer, loves this game. This is the very epitome of pickup and delivery. You have 3 different vehicles. You can pick them up. You can even sell these vehicles. It is a very stringent economy. And while I like the different color cubes, I know at the time this was a big deal. The cubes were different colors than the player colors. And I was like, whoa. But other than that, I hate it. Bantam West. So that's a new one that me and Joey just played. I'd give this one a better rating, but the rule book and the components, it just isn't streamlined. It's a sandbox game, so much to do, so many places to go. It just doesn't have a very streamlined feel to it, unfortunately. But it's cool in every other way. Epigo, this game here from Masquerade Games, is a really cool abstract strategy game where you're trying... I don't know what happened. Okay. Anyway, you are pushing pieces around. You're trying to push the other player's pieces off the board. I was very impressed with this one. This is a really cool abstract strategy game that I have not played in a while. Festo, this is from Game Brewer. This is one of the first games I played from Game Brewer, and I enjoyed this one. This is about making dishes of food at a banquet. I thought it was colorful and enjoyable. I haven't loved everything from Game Brewer, but this one I thought was fun, interesting, and the theme, of course, and the colorful nature of it helped out a lot. All right, Mr. X. So Mr. X is, if you've never heard of Mr. X, it's just basically a reimplementation of Scotland Yard. except this one here is all over Europe. But it has very similar feels to it. This is another game that I think I would like to play, although I'm pretty sure it would give me the same feeling as Scotland Yard. Ivor the Engine here. This one is a game based on apparently a very popular intellectual property in England that I had not heard of. But Tony Boydell, the designer of this, makes a lot of train games. And this was a nice, fun, pleasant train game. That's the best way I can put it. Squadro. This one I did not like. This is from Gigamic. They make a lot of these different abstract strategy games. And sometimes I like them. This one's about sliding pieces off the board, I think. And I just didn't enjoy it at all. And Flying Kiwis. This is basically a game where you are flipping kiwis into a box. I believe you're trying to get a certain number in a row. So, but for kids, very good, which is why I gave it a 7. So I think Epigo, or I don't know how to pronounce it, Epigo, that's probably my favorite here, other than the miscellaneous game accessory from the Dice Tower. What are your favorites? Let me know in the comments. Tell me your favorite game in this 100. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching 6,000 Games Better Than These on the Dice Tower. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.